Hi, this is Bree checking in, and why I say that is I want to tell you some things that have happened that prove to me that you might not be here in body, but we're still, the loved ones are still with us in spirit. This is a picture, and I'll explain it and then put it at some point where you can look at it, that my girlfriend, Janie Weber, took on January 11th, which was the day after Bree's funeral, actually, and 6 days after her passing. When my friend took this picture, she was trying to get the rainbow. I have a window here behind me that when the sun comes through, it creates beautiful rainbows in the room. And so she wanted to get the rainbows, and there was candles lit, like an altar, candles lit and flowers, and that's what she was looking at. And when she looked through the lens, what she saw was the split rainbow. You see, up here and then down here, which she'd never seen before. And there was no light in the picture when she looked through the lens. This only came up when she looked at the picture once it had been taken. See how bright the light is. And if you look at it, there's a nose and a chin over here. Now, for the naysayers, I will repeat what Elizabeth Kubler-Ross said to someone who was interviewing her. And he said, communicating with the dead is a bunch of devil stuff. And she said to him in an answer, she said, are you a Christian? And he said, yes. And she said, do you believe in Jesus Christ? And he said, yes. And she said, do you pray and expect your prayers to be answered? Absolutely, he said. And she said, well, then you're communicating with the dead. So that's what I'm going to say here. None of this did I have any idea was going to happen. So now I think I've explained the picture, and we'll do a close-up later. And now I'll just talk about what's happened since. See how bright the light is? As far as I'm concerned, that's Bree coming through. I've had confirmation from a pastor on that. He actually told me when he saw it, he said that with time, if you get a photo again, the light won't be as bright. It'll be more misty, and expect it to go up to the right of the picture. But he said she was obviously very, very present because it's just so bright. So what has happened was about 3 weeks ago, a girlfriend bought me a reading with a lady in Maine who I've never met. And also, during that time, she sent me this book, Walking in the Garden of Souls. And it took longer than she expected to get here. Anyway, the reading I didn't do right away. I said, I'm going to put it off because when my other friend, when my other girlfriend Annie had been with me for 2 weeks, thank God, she had done a reading, so I didn't want to crowd it all in. And everything's been positive, and the girl is doing super. Whew. Anyway, so what is so amazing is this last reading, and I've got to share it with any parents whose children have passed on, or anybody, anyone you've loved who have passed on. So it took a while getting the reading. The phone thing, we were missing each other on the phone. And I started reading this book. I'm reading about 5. I have my stack of books. I'm always reading about 5. So to show how the synchronicity of everything was beyond belief. So the woman, I'm on the phone with her, and I spent about a half an hour being quiet before doing it. And she comes through, and all she knows is my name and my date of birth. That's it. She's never met me. That's it. And she starts off with someone very close to you has passed. And I said yes. And then she went, oh my God, she's surrounded by so much love. And I go, and then she starts asking me questions. She said, there's someone with the first initial is L, that's with her. And I said, well, my mother's name was Lois, L-O-I-S. So I said, that makes sense. She said, yeah, she's with your mother, for sure. And then she said, Bree's very happy, and she's also got her arms around a big dog, which surprised me because her first dog, she said 2 dogs. Her first dog was Sam, who was a 100-pound Labrador, and that was her dog for the first 8 years of her life, and they were amazing together. He was so gentle with her. And this is her other dog. And anyway, the other thing they said was things were coming through that I didn't expect. I didn't even know what this reading was going to be about. I didn't know it was going to be about any of this. I thought she might say, yes, Bree is happy and healthy and on the other side fine, which I knew in my heart anyway. But then my mother came through and was giving me things to let me know that she knew. And one was peanut butter, which I'm going, peanut butter? What's that? Well, I haven't eaten peanut butter in like over 30 years. I've had nut butter, but not peanut butter in over 30 years. And but as a child, I was a peanut butter fanatic. If you had sent me to a desert island with peanut butter, I would have been happy. And the other thing was trains. And the woman's going, what's trains? Well, where we live near the ocean, the train was very much a part of everybody's life. And my uncles worked on the train. And we set the day by the morning train and the night train. And that was our how we got out to the world. And we went everywhere by train. So my mom brings those 2 things in. And to tell me, hey, it's Mom. And the other thing was, and there were many other things going on in this reading that were amazing. Bree was saying hi to a friend of mine who she said she considers her aunt, and I can see that, why that, and the initial was A, and when I said the name, it was like, yes, that's the person. I said someone else's name, it was, no, that's not the person. So, and at some point, the woman said, and there's something about Saint Teresa. And I'm going, I'm not Catholic. I don't know anything about Saint Teresa. What's that? So I'm going, oh, okay. I was just taking notes, just wrote it down. And then she said, there are balloons coming out. Bree wants you on your birthday, on my birthday, to send up balloons. And she's going to send you rainbows. So this woman has never been in my house, doesn't know anything about us. And the rainbows only came to me on my walk with the dogs this morning. I didn't put 2 and 2 together, you know, but the rainbows that come into the house all the time through the window. And when the sun's out, the rainbows come. And this woman would have no idea about that. But that was a way of Bree saying, I'm here. So the other thing that, and I won't have this too long, is that the Saint Teresa. So I forgot about it. And when I go to bed, I like to pick a book, read a couple of pages before I doze off. And so I decided on reading more of this. And I was on I opened it up and I was on page 70. And now, you know, the reading's been over. That was like 4 hours earlier, and I'm just going to bed. And I'm just on the section that's, for everything there is a reason. And I read the first paragraph, and then the second paragraph says, one of the things that I've learned through listening to the souls is that all prayer is answered. But sometimes the answer to our prayer is no. One time in my life, I prayed to Saint Teresa for something I thought I wanted more than life itself, and it didn't happen. How many times I did that with Bree? I prayed harder, it still didn't happen. Frustrated and angry, I yelled at the portrait of her I have in my home. Look, lady, I spouted, I've done everything you guys have asked me to do. I work until I'm half dead communicating messages, and all I'm asking for is a small thing that would make my life so much happier. Is that so much to ask? And I'm going, yeah, well, that's a lot of times in my life. Her soft words in return shook me with the force of an earthquake, words I have heard from her many times since. Not even God can change that which is to be your journey on the earth. A child cannot have every whim appeased for its own safety, even though it will be perceived as cruelty. Take heart, God knows better. And so how that came together, the woman mentioned St. Teresa. I happened to open the book, which even the fact that I'd started reading at that point in time, or that it came, that I hadn't booked the reading 3 weeks earlier, I wouldn't have even had the book at that point. I wouldn't have even been reading it. So, you know, people can think what they want, but energy doesn't die, you know, and the physical body dies, but the energy of the person doesn't die. And so Bree is checking in. I won't go into everything, but everything in the reading was positive. But she's very happy. She's very healthy. She's surrounded by love, and she's still with me, and she's still letting me know that she is. So that's Bree's update.